Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of What Body is Trying to Say. In the last episode of What Body is Trying to Say, I made a promise to you all. Like, I asked you to subscribe to my channel, taking your mother's phone, your father's phone, right? And turns out some of you did. Okay, we were at some 243, 242 subscribers, and now we have touched 250 subscribers. Right? That is 7 people following, and thank you so much for that. I am very grateful for it. I appreciate it, and it is time to fulfill that promise now. I promise you that if I came across in the feed of your mother, I will do a satsang. Here we go. The second promise that I told you guys was, if I ever came in the feed of your fathers, then I will do a news segment, right? Here it is. Welcome to India News. This is your anchor Vinayak Chaudhari. This is the 5th day of CJP's protest on Jantar Mantar, Delhi, Cockroach Janata Party. Students are continuously protesting and on the ground. They are there day and night, but still government has not recognized them. Not a single news channel is doing any sorts of commentary on them. Why? I ask you a question. Earlier this year, Vishwaguru told us to use less petrol, stop investing in gold, stop going to foreign countries, using less oil in our food matters. One more thing he added, he asked us to not get employed. He wants us to be unemployed because it is a master stroke, right? It is peak detailing. He wants us to spend more time with our family. If we become employed, we will go on our ways, we will make new family. He wants us to stay with our old family and take care of them, live off of them and with them. That's it from my side. Now let's come back to the main topic of this video, right? Today we are going to talk about hypertension, and we are going to target one aspect of hypertension, right? Hypertension is a very vast phenomenon, right? There are multiple causes of it. Primary hypertension, secondary hypertension, there are different causes of hypertension. But essentially what body is trying to say by hypertension, that is what we are going to target. And we are going to target only the renal aspect of it, because otherwise this video will be so long if we are to include every type of hypertension, right? So we are going to talk about a secondary hypertension in which renal system is the culprit, and let's try to find out what body is trying to tell us. Now we are going to understand the mechanism by which kidneys increases the blood pressure of all the body. Okay, now let's say for whatever reason there is low blood supply to the kidney, the perfusion of the kidney is reduced. Now what will happen? The receptors present in the kidney, they are going to activate. They are going to tell kidney ki we are not getting enough blood supply, we are not getting enough nutrition. If this continues for long, we are going to die. This is the message kidney has received. Okay, now what will kidney do? There is an apparatus present in the kidneys. It is called as juxtaglomerular apparatus. Now what will this juxtaglomerular apparatus do? It secretes a hormone called renin. Renin goes into the bloodstream. Now renin converts angiotensinogen, which is an inactive compound present in the blood, and converts it into angiotensin 1. Now angiotensin 1 still is not powerful enough to cause the vasoconstriction, to increase the blood pressure so that kidney gets enough blood supply. Now what will happen? Your lungs help you. Now lungs have a hormone, have an enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme. Now this angiotensin converting enzyme from lungs, it will come, it acts on angiotensin 1 and converts it into a potent active angiotensin 2. Now angiotensin 2 is very powerful, it is a vasoconstrictor. Now in the name itself, it tells us what is the action of it. Like angiotensin, angios mean vessels and tension means pressure, right? So angiotensin, vessels में pressure पैदा करने वाला compound, right? Because now what is the need of the body? So that what the need of the body is that kidney should receive appropriate amount of blood supply, and it is not getting it. So how will it get it? If this is a pipe carrying a water, and the force of the water is not enough. You want to water the plants which are far away. What will you do? You will press this part of the pipe slightly, you will cause vasoconstriction here so that the water flows appropriately. Exactly the thing kidney is doing here. Okay, kidney is causing this vasoconstriction of the pipe, and pipe means blood vessels, vessels carrying the blood, and it is causing vasoconstriction of all the vessels in the body so that kidney gets enough blood supply, and that is how your blood pressure is going to increase. But the reason for it is body needs that increased blood pressure so that kidney receives appropriate amount of blood, appropriate amount of nutrients, right? And one more thing happens, which complements this is angiotensin 2 also acts on the adrenal gland and secretes the hormone aldosterone. Now, what is the role of aldosterone? Aldosterone causes upregulation, causes absorption of sodium, right? Sodium absorption causes more amount of water absorption in the body to balance the osmolarity, right? So, what happens is water absorption is there because of sodium absorption. Aldosterone acts on the convoluted tubules of the kidneys, it causes sodium absorption. Along with sodium, water is also get absorbed, and there is increased pressure. This also is a complement to how the blood pressure is increasing. So, this is your Renin-Angiotensin-Aldosterone System, RAAS, acting on the body and creating that increased blood pressure. Now, tell me whether this is good or bad, right? A valid question. One can argue that this is good, right? Because kidney is not getting enough blood supply, we should have higher blood pressure for that amount of time so that kidney receives it. Otherwise gradually kidney का जो function है वो deteriorate होते जाएगा and it will be an injury to the kidney which is more harmful. So that is why body chooses this mechanism. Body chooses this temporary rise of hypertension. Okay, so this hypertension is an adaptation. It is a need of the body. Body thinks this is necessary for now to survive. I want to protect my kidneys. That is why this increased blood pressure is important. Now, I am not saying we should not treat hypertension. Obviously, a mismanaged hypertension, a malignant hypertension over a long period of time, if left untreated, is going to affect your vital organs. What can happen? Your retinal vessels, the eye vessels are small and they are particularly weak. If the pressure increases, they can burst and cause blindness, right? Over prolonged periods of hypertension, you can develop heart failure, acute myocardial infarction, right? In the nervous system, it can cause stroke, ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke, that is also very fatal. Kidney injury, acute kidney injury can occur, chronic kidney disease can occur. So, these are all the things that can happen if this hypertension is prolonged for a long time, right, and if it is not treated appropriately. Now, let us discuss various diseases in which this happens. The first disease is renal artery stenosis, right. Renal artery, the vessel carrying the blood to the kidneys. Stenosis means narrowing. If the lumen of the renal artery narrows, how can it narrow? It can narrow because of atherosclerosis, right, a plaque accumulation within the lumen causing the lumen to be smaller and smaller, so that kidney को message क्या मिलता है कि less amount of blood is coming to me, I need more amount of blood. So it starts that cascade, Renin-Angiotensin-Aldosterone System. This activates and it tries to fulfill its demand of more blood supply, right. But the cause is what? Renal artery stenosis. Renal artery stenosis. जब तक ये renal artery stenosis को हम target नहीं करेंगे कि why this renal artery stenosis happened, this cascade is going to keep on running, and we have to take antihypertensives to keep the hypertension in control. But body also needs this hypertension, otherwise kidney is going to get damaged. So this is the process. The main target should be in this particular disease, our main target should be this renal artery stenosis. Why stenosis happened in the renal arteries? Second type of diseases are renal parenchymal diseases, right. If let it be glomerulonephritis or polycystic kidney disease. Now what happens in them? Inflammation, the immune complexes or genetic cysts, what they do is they damage the functional unit of the kidney, which is glomeruli. More number of glomeruli are damaged, more the number of the filtering unit decreases. Now what will happen? kidney will not be able to excrete appropriate amount of sodium and water out of the body. So, the sodium and water is going to be retained, right. Now, this retention of sodium and water is also going to trigger RAAS system, and this cascade is going to continue. Now, this is a dual hypertension, right. This is also happening because of the vasoconstriction driven, and it is also because of the fluid overload driven. So, dual hypertension crisis occurs in diseases like glomerulonephritis or polycystic kidney diseases. One more disease pathology is Conn syndrome, that is primary hyperaldosteronism. In Conn syndrome, what happens? There are two things that can happen. One is either an adenoma present in the adrenal gland secreting more amount of aldosterone, or there is a renal adrenal hyperplasia which is also causing more amount of aldosterone into the bloodstream. Now, what is happening in this is the massive amount of upregulation of sodium ions is happens, because aldosterone का काम क्या है? Sodium absorption. So, more amount of sodium is being absorbed by the kidneys, along with this more amount of water is there, potassium is not getting excreted. So, this causes a suppression of renin system also, and this causes a hypertension which is medication resistant. It is very difficult to treat this. Now, bringing this topic to a close, we are going to talk about the possible conflicts that can cause kidney to behave this way, right, to create these kinds of special biological programs. Okay. Firstly, let us talk about renal artery stenosis, right. Now, according to GNM, this corresponds to a water or fluid conflict, right. Any disagreeable event in the patient's life, right, regarding water or regarding fluid, where he was threatened because of a fluid or water, a bad incidents with the sea, right, a near drowning experience. So, we have to investigate in those lines to see if a patient has experienced that kind of an event in his life, right, prior to development of this kidney disease. That is first. Second, about the glomerulonephritis. About the glomerulonephritis, same water or fluid conflict paired with a abandonment, existential conflict or isolation conflict, right. The patient is worried about his own existence, right. Either he feels abandoned by the loved ones, right, or he feels like a refugee. Take that as a reference, what a refugee will feel in a particular situation, right, away from home, isolated, alone. So, we have to ask for that particular situation in the patient's life. If the second type of disease like glomerulonephritis, where the kidney tubules are affected along with the kidney parenchymas. Okay. Then we have aldosteronism, right, hyperaldosteronism. Now, that corresponds to a wrong decision or a wrong choice taken by the patient in his life. Now, this can be regarding anything, right, where patient feels that I have taken the wrong path, right, I did not want to do this, but I am doing this right now, this is wrong, I know this is wrong, I have taken this step, right. So, we have to search in that sense, right, we have to turn our investigations towards that, right. Again, I am not saying that GNM is the ultimate truth, but sometimes it has been found that it is a good guide to find a particular reason in the patient's life about why this kind of diseases has happened to him, right. So, still, even if it is not an absolute truth, I say it is worth it to explore it this way, right. Otherwise, we are taking a full case history, but we should add this also in our case history. Even out of 10 patients, even if it helps 2-3, it is a very big thing, right. So, we should not ignore this. Whatever literature there is about the biosocial psycho effect of the thoughts on the body, right, psychosomatic diseases, this GNM theory, right, the knowing yourself book, right, we should compile all the knowledge and try to figure out a case. So, yeah, this is it from my side. If you do like this video and you want more of such videos, please show your support by liking down below, liking, commenting, subscribing and sharing this video. Your support means a lot. Thank you.